coming out. We're going to, for the next 20 minutes, answer you guys' questions. Before we start, does anybody have any more questions before we get going? Going once. All right. First question.
All right, I'm going to start off with a comment. Since I have started coming to Unplugged, I have noticed a huge difference in my life. It has been a tremendous blessing. Every Thursday, I leave refreshed, encouraged, and with a deeper desire to have a closer relationship with God. Happy Unplugged is in its 5th year.
Oh, wow, thank you.
So thank you to whoever wrote that. We appreciate you. All right, question 1. I was never considered the pretty girl. I struggle with looking in the mirror and loving what I see every day. How do I see myself the way God sees me? One more time. I was never considered the pretty girl. I struggle with looking in the mirror and loving what I see every day. How do I see myself the way God sees me?
I know it's difficult, and we all struggle with it to a degree, especially in culture when you're bombarded with the image of what a person or what society deems as beautiful or pretty or handsome. What happens is, I know for a fact that's by design. This design is for you to look so much at a photoshopped image or things with the little blushes and the different things that shows you what a woman should look. So therefore you start making comparisons of how you look versus, that's how they make their money. Having you compare yourself to an image so that you could try to match that image. And since you run out of the product, you got to go buy new products. So it's a trap, that's a never-ending trap that both men and women face to try to keep up with the Joneses. And like I tell people, you're trying to keep up with something that doesn't exist. The Joneses don't exist. So what happens is they create a facade or a fake Jones for you to try to follow after so you can say, I'm going to look like this and I'll be accepted. It doesn't matter where you at. There's always going to be someone prettier, someone more handsome in the eyes or the opinions of others. So if you're looking at your beauty based upon the opinions of others, then you'll find yourself trying to match or make other people see you or to feel accepted. One of the things that people find that causes them to be insecure is their need for acceptance. That's why people go to gangs. That's why people go to the gay community, or that's why people go even to some cult-like churches or anywhere they go. Everyone belongs somewhere because that need to feel accepted. So therefore, if I can find a group of people that makes me feel like I belong, then therefore I can feel like I can partake with whatever belief system they have. With that being said, to answer that young lady's question, you have to look at the mirror and say, you know what? Do I love me? Do I really like who I see in the mirror? It's sad that we tear down the person in the mirror more than we love the person in the mirror. That we critique the person in the mirror more than we accept the person in the mirror. Now, if there's some things in the way you look that you want to change it. But my thing is, don't let your change be conceived by the opinions of others. Let it be conceived by, I actually want to lose the weight. I actually want to gain more weight. I actually want to do this for my own liking, not from the peer pressure of others. So that young lady has to look in the mirror, and all of us have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That God created me like this. That I used to get mad at this big head I have, man. I got called big head jokes since I came out the womb. My mom told me the doctor said your son has a big head. We had to do a special type of delivery because I couldn't get out. So you talking about from the beginning getting big head jokes until even now. So I have to accept this thing, you know what I'm saying? In order for me, because whatever you accept cannot be used against you. So if you don't accept it, it will be used against you. Every single time you see a girl that has a better figure than you or a man that has a better stature than you, you will always find yourself caught up in that trap. So accept your flaws, accept who you are. Don't accept your flaws, but accept how God created you and go from there. Listen, work that thing, look good. Confidence is the true essence of beauty, not your looks. Because there's a lot of jokers. T.D. Jakes is confident, but that joker ain't always the most handsome man out there. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at different people in culture, their confidence exudes the way they look. Therefore, people are drawn to their confidence, not their appearance. So work on your confidence and your appearance, but don't let your appearance supersede your confidence. Let your confidence be in Christ, and from that confidence, you'll walk boldly no matter what arena you walk in.
Just to piggyback off of what Josh said, true beauty has absolutely nothing to do with the outward you. True beauty, and sounds so cliche, it's like a Dove commercial, but it's true. Like, true beauty comes from within, because at the end of the day, your outward appearance can always be taken away from you. You could get in an accident. You could be the hottest thing on two legs on Tuesday. You get in an accident Tuesday night. You wake up Monday morning or Wednesday morning, and you look completely different. And if you base your security, if you base your life, if you base your self-esteem, if you base everything that you are, if you anchor it on something so temporary, such as how you look, then what's going to happen when that's taken away from you? And so to all of us, because we all deal with it on some level, we all deal with not feeling pretty enough, not feeling handsome enough, not feeling like we're wearing the right things, or we're keeping up with everybody else. Just like Josh said, like if you work on who you are on the inside, that is going to pour out of you, and people are going to notice that, because anybody can want to be around somebody because they're pretty, because they're attractive, because they're handsome. But you don't want people to hang around you because of what you look like. You want to draw people to you because of the God in you and because of your character traits, because those are things that can never be taken away from you. If you came in here and you look like who's cute, who's a hot smoking celebrity? Let's say you walked in here looking like Cutright. Let's say you were just the hottest thing. You were just ripped and you was just all over the place. Let's say that was you. And people are coming to you and people are hanging out with you just because of what you look like. Well, the minute that something happens to you, all of those people, all of that is going to fade away. And so, long story short, it's all about who you are on the inside. And that is really what makes people beautiful, because at the end of the day, if you're basing your, and this doesn't just go for looks, but if you're basing your security on anything that's so temporary, you're gonna find yourself upset. You're gonna find yourself disappointed at the end of the day, because all of that can fade and all of that can be stripped away at any moment.
Just want to add something quick. I always give this analogy. People are drawn to the fruit, not the bark of a tree. So what happens is fruit comes within, and so if you get so caught up trying to be the bark, or people come to me because of my external. No, it's those things that birthed out of you that draw people. People don't come to me because I'm the most handsome. People don't come to me because I look like whatever. They come to me because the fruit that I bear that can only come from Christ. So my thing is, you don't want to be that type of person that's always surrounded by people that's only around you for what you provide and how you look. That's very shallow. And I've lived long enough in these 28-something years, and I've been around a lot of people that only come to you based upon those things, and they always leave. They're fleeting. So be very careful of that. I just want to kind of break this question out. I was never considered the pretty girl. I struggle with looking in the mirror. I think the practical thing that you need to do is go to that mirror. And go to that mirror and say, I love whatever your name. I love me. I accept me. I accept me because Christ accepts me. And sometimes you got to fake it till you feel it. Fake it till it's real. And sometimes you just got to go to that mirror and say, you know what, I love me. I had to do that years ago, man. I didn't like me. I really didn't like me. I wanted to make myself in an image of what people accept, because I was around a lot of pretty boys in college. All my best friends was considered the most handsome. People really just came to me because I had good advice. You see what I'm saying? So what happened was I used to always try to compare myself to my homeboy Adam or my homeboy Justin, who the ladies just loved because they were just your practical, handsome. I mean, your most handsome type of people. So what happened was I tried to wear I almost was dumb enough to buy skinny jeans. I was almost dumb enough to wear sandals, because back in ORU, they was trying to be them pretty boys. And I said, man, Josh, wear your khakis and wear your T-shirt, man. Be you. And what happens is the people wearing jeans that's too tight, they're wearing V-necks that's too low, just to be accepted. When you could just say, hey, I actually like sweatpants and T-shirts. I actually like this, not because this is me. I actually like this. And when you do that, you will actually love you, man. And that's all I want to add there. So go tonight, whoever that person is, and go in that mirror and say, you know what, I love me and I accept me because Jesus accepts me and loves me. And we want to add to it.
This question kind of piggybacks off that one. How do you define beauty?
Beauty is defined by the ultimate beholder. It's not defined based upon how we behold or beheld people. And we all have our preference of beauty. Come on now, we know what we like. And God gave us that perception because he knows that, hey, you got eyes. You know what I'm saying? God ain't trying to put you with somebody that you're not attracted to. So beauty is the eye of the beholder, but your individual beauty is based upon the beholder of God. When God beholds you and when you accept his love towards you. And what happens when people get so caught up on, man, the world's definition of beauty, the world definition of beauty is our trends. So what happens is, if you get caught up in a trend, trends last for a few months or last for a season, they fade away. And so what happens is, that's how they make their money. Change the trend so you'll always try to adapt your life to what the new trend is. So you have to ask yourself, you know what, God, how do you accept me? Look at the question one more time. How do you define beauty? Beauty is, I'm telling you, man, beauty is within, man. Man, there's nothing worse than, I don't care if she's the most attractive woman in the world, there's nothing worse than a bad attitude, man. There's nothing worse with poor character. There's nothing worse than a person that's not integral. There's nothing worse than a person that may look good on the outside, man, but their inside is not deep. I think beauty is defined within because it shines within to the outside, and people are more drawn to your authenticity and your integrity more than they are to your skirts and your tailored suits, if that makes sense. So God defines beauty. And he defined it and he capped it on the cross for you. And he showed you how much your beauty is worth. See, man, we chump change our beauty, man. Looking like prostitutes, looking like pimps, looking like the world's definition of beauty. When God said, man, when I touch you, I instantly make you beautiful because of my handiwork. Let me move that pride out your life. Let me take that rejection and let me mold it. Let me take that issue and let me change it so I can. When has God dressed you? I have to ask God, you got to fix my tie. Make sure my suit fit right. Ladies got to say, God, dress me. Show me what modesty is. Show me what handsome is. And when he begins to change you, your beauty, it will shine out because your countenance is your true beauty. And when you were caught up in God's joy, your countenance will shine, and people be drawn not to you, but by the gift that's in you. So think about that. True beauty is within, is defined by the Creator. Because it's pointless to try to look good on the outside, but you're hurting on the inside. And there's a lot of people who are not attractive on the inside. I'm losing my voice. Don't worry about it. When people get so caught up on, man, I just got to look good. You buy these J's, you buy these clothes just to look good for people, but you're not looking good inside towards God. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't calculate well. So today, go home and say, God, make me beauty within so I can be beauty without, on the outside, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
How do you build your trust in God? How do you build your trust in God?
I got my voice back. Look at that. Look at the Lord. Oh, let me stop before that voice get going. This ain't the Lord's doing. What's the question again?
How do you build your trust in God?
How you build your trust in God. And I could be transparent. This is what I'm working on now. I'm learning every day on completely trusting Jesus, man. It's tough because in life I got to be able to say, man, I trust my muscular build, I trust my mental build, I trust my moral build. And what happens is then I begin to think that I can lift the weights of life by myself when I fail to realize that the true strength comes from God. And when I know that I am frail and that my weakness, his strength is made perfect when I'm weak. It doesn't mean that I'm not able to lift. It doesn't mean I'm not able to quote scriptures and be tough mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It shows me that I'm actually weak by default. That by default, as he is sanctifying me with this sin nature, I am being purified into the coming day. That as I am still being developed and cleaned by him, I still have frailties inside that's not quite clean. Meaning that I have to always say, God, I trust you in this situation. Even if I don't understand it. The scripture that comes to me that anchors itself as deep inside of my soul is that, man, I just lost it. It's like a movie when you're watching it, like stops. Man, what was I saying before that? You know your boy tired when you forget like that. Basically what am I trying to say? Well, basically, let me bring this thing around. And as I talk, I may remind myself. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that, man, when you find yourself trusting in anything and everything but God, you're going to find yourself falling at the end. Anyone want to add to that as I try to remember what my point was? A good one.
Well, I'll just say that you can't, it's very hard to trust someone that you don't know or to trust something that you have never experienced. And while a lot of us, we might not have a deep knowledge of God and who he is, all of us have experienced him. Even the atheist, even the unbeliever has experienced God. And so based off your experiences with God, that's how you can build your trust in him. Like the analogy that Josh always uses is everybody came in here and sat in a chair without thought, trusting and knowing that that chair would keep them from falling on the floor. They trusted in that chair. Why? Because you sat in chairs before. You have prior experience with chairs. You know what a chair is. You know what a chair is supposed to do. And we have all had past experiences with God, and when you think about it, and this is a good exercise to do in your quiet time, in your free time, is to sit down with God and say, God, remind me of all the times that you, and it won't take very much to remind you of all the times that he's been your healer, that he's been your provider, that he's been your friend, that he's wiped your tears, that he's spoken to you, that he's laughed with you, that he's rejoiced with you. The very fact that he created you so specifically, and a lot of our questions have been about beauty, the very fact that he took the time, like the word says, to knit you together in your mother's womb, he did it purposefully, he did it intricately, he did it intentionally, and he spent so much time on you, and he knows you. And a lot of us don't know him, not even a little bit, but we've all had experiences with him in some way. So if you're learning to, or if you're wanting to deepen your trust with him, first of all, spend time with him, because again, you can't trust someone that you don't know. You can't trust a voice that you've never heard. You can't trust someone that you don't know. But just think back on all the different times that you've experienced him, and you don't even have to think back on all of your life. You can think back just today on all the times that you've experienced him. And when you think about it, I was listening to something today, and it was saying how you'll never see the same sunrise twice. If you've ever seen a sunrise, you've experienced God. If you've ever take a deep breath, you're experiencing God. If you've thought, if you process the way that your mind works, that's God. He did that. And so based off all of the prior experiences that you've had, that's where you can begin to build your trust in him and come to know him as faithful, as constant, as loving, as merciful, as just. You can come to know him and all of his characteristics. And then, of course, the most obvious way to get to know him is just to spend time in his word and to learn about him and just to learn how to hear his voice and what he's saying and what he's asking of you. And those are just some ways that I think you can learn to trust God.
Yeah, the scripture that comes to mind, I think is Proverbs 3:5, I think. Trust in the Lord all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. One of the main reasons why we can't trust God the way we want to, because we're in the way, and we try to think our life out logically versus trying to lean on him. You know, we have to lean on his understanding. We try to lean on our own understanding. We're just stuck, you know. God is... he's an unlimited resource. We are limited. I got a story. It's not really a happy story. It's kind of sad, but I had an uncle. He passed away now. He's going to be with the Lord. Well, he's passed away now, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but I used to drive past his house almost every day after work, every day. And I don't know if you ever gotten umption where God will say, go over there, go speak to him, go talk to him about me. And what happens is we don't send it to our feet. We try to think logically, like, oh, he don't want me to go over there. He don't want me to do this and that. But what happened was that months went by, and it would tug on me to go by there and talk to him. Just talk to him. You know, I knew that he wasn't really in right standing with God. And I could be the one that God could use to go, and he could be I could be what he needed to hear, basically. So months went by, and he had dementia. And the time that I wanted to go talk to him in the hospital, he was already his mind was gone. He couldn't even understand what I was saying to him. So I say that to say that if God has asked you to do something, do it, because you don't know when that time may run out. And so that goes back to trusting in God, trusting the Lord, and lean out on your own understanding and on your own timing as well. Because a lot of times we lean on our own timing and the time runs out. So.
Just this last point, what helps build my trust in God is what Ishmael's saying, is obeying him. Because when you obey God, you can expect a result. You know, if God tells me to do something, I'm guaranteed safety, I'm guaranteed surplus, I'm guaranteed salvation, I'm guaranteed all these different things, because I know that if he leads me, I'm sure that where he tells me is for my best interest. And so as I practice trusting him, that's why just when you're driving, just open yourself up to say, God, whatever you say, I will do. Just don't open yourself up like that. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, God, I just want you to speak to me. I want you, and if you don't hear him for the first 5 days you drive to work, just keep doing it. And then God will say, you do your discipline, do your faithfulness. I will begin to tell you, turn left here. And when God tells you turn left, that doesn't always tell you what you missed on right. He's just telling you go left. Sometimes God tells you to do things just to develop your trust in him. And you may not see the reasons why, but when you practice trusting him now, when alarms go off and stuff start happening, you will be safe. Because if I don't trust him now, if I don't know how to listen to his words now, why would God waste his time talking to people who don't listen? It's the people that don't listen that finds himself in trouble. It's imperative that you say, God, I want to build my trust in you now so that when stuff start happening in this country, I can trust you. So we're going to stop there. Give it up for our panel. We're going to go ahead and get in our prayer circle. Anyone have any prayer requests? We're going to go ahead and get you guys home, get you home safe. I think LeBron them playing, so I got to get back to them. Just joking. Just joking. I'm messing.